Shoot.
Marcus, starting at quarterback situations, what do you feel like you saw today from your backups, and how confident are you if you had to call upon them on Saturday?
Good. I thought they did a nice job today. We'll let the doctors determine, how we move forward. But those guys put up good reps today, and they've got to step up and go to war. And I'm excited about it.
If you had to make the call today, is it Braxton?
They went 50-50 today, and there's no call today. We won't know that till closer to game time.
We haven't seen Braxton since non-conference. What do you think he's improved on the most since then?
Well, I'm most excited just to get a chance to get him off injury, and get him back out there in full speed. Getting him back in the heart of getting the group going. That's the biggest part. I think being off that long is really just getting off the kinks. But he's grown a lot. The maturity of him has grown bounds since last year. That's just having played. We all know that. But I'm excited. It was good work getting him to the end of the day. It was nice to see him in the day.
Shuck hasn't attempted a pass. Was played in 2 games. What do you think of his play and how he could help you guys?
Well, so far he's only been in, towards the end of games. But I mean, he's got most of the reps here the last few weeks with the twos because of Braxton's injury. So he's had a lot of reps in practice and with our twos. So confident, as far as his ability to go out there and be on the field and do that. Now we got to go and apply it.
When you guys drop your running back rotation for the game, are you guys evaluating their effectiveness in the game as well, or is it you're going to get Verdell for 5 carries here and then we're going to switch to Dye, or is it kind of just evaluating?
I wouldn't say there's any kind of set way of doing it. I think that there's times where you go into a game, we know that certain guys want to start the game and play the game and get a certain amount of touches maybe. Throughout the course of a game, one guy may get a hot hand, just like anything else. Some guy may get a cold hand, and you got to make a change. And I think that that's how we've gone about it in that regard, and I thought they've done a good job. I think there's certain aspects of it that in a rotation with a young group that you got to make sure you're constantly evaluating. Just to answer your question, I think it becomes a constant evaluation with almost with every rep. Hey, how are we looking at pass protection? How are we looking carrying the ball? How are we looking as far as the ability to go a certain amount of plays as a young player? And I think that throughout the season, those guys have done a good job, and I think you've seen us kind of do that.
Is that a little bit of the difference between like a Washington game where I think CJ got like 28, 29 carries, and this week where it was very
probably a good example. Yeah, I mean, you got a hot hand. You got guys who run the ball well. I mean, and I think you stick with it. I think it's no different really to any position. If you're evaluating that, I don't think unfortunately anybody's good enough yet. Many of us to be able to say, hey, we can stick it through no matter what, and he's going to go the whole way because those things happen. We got to be ready for it.
Johnny taking over for Dylan in the short term.
Yeah, we've got a substitution plan for Dylan in the short term. Depending on whether he's cleared or not. And we've had that kind of rolling throughout it because our substitution's got to be that way. Our two's got to roll. We got to cross over some reps at certain positions with certain packages, and those guys do a nice job. We've started that a little bit. You saw a little bit last week, with Johnny doing that, and Collins and Red, and for sure those guys are going to have to cross over a little bit.
Without belaboring the point a bit, Marcus, but after 2 pretty brutal weeks for the run game in particular, what is your assessment of how this has happened?
We've had 6 really good weeks, and our guys, we've done our job really is to get back and get back to business and get back to our effectiveness and reach down and really look at the thing and say, hey, get back and keep developing our culture, and I think that our running the football is something we all want to do, and we need to make sure that we're all in it together, and I think today was a good sign. Our guys got back out there. They've been really excited. The O-line's been excited about a chance to get back there and get physical, and we're a little bit banged up, but we got to overcome that stuff. Guys got to step up, and go through it, and we believe in those guys. We just need more and more reps together. As an O-line group, they got to gel. They got the mix and match of 5 guys is always something you got to work with, and we got to get back into that.
I can understand the situations later in games. You have to pass. There's no other way. But
sure.
Early in games this past week in particular,
sure,
you guys passed a lot on first down, much more than you had the previous 6, even 7 weeks. Do you feel like not only was the defense maybe showing you something you're trying to take advantage of, but regardless, do you feel like you got away from what was working for you the first 6 weeks when you're passing 7 times on first down the first day?
Yeah, I mean, certain game plans are going to be a little bit different depending on what you're doing. I think that if we get back to what we really what we need to do, I'd probably there's games and there's calls in games when you win and calls in games you lose. We're like, man, I wish I would have done that. There's calls in games versus Washington that we won, and I'm like, it would have been another one there. I think you go into the game plan thinking you're going to do something, and you've got to evolve throughout it. And I think making corrections and things that we do throughout the course of a game definitely are going to be something that we've thought about. And I think that's who we are. We got back to establishing our run and going back to what we did that was leading the conference in offense, and that's running the football and doing some good stuff.